Hi, I'm Sandy Schreck for LBR Educates, our wedding series. And today we're going to be creating a crescent style bridal bouquet in a holder. We're going to use that mechanic to be able to really gain control of our flower placement and really develop that crescent shape. So when I'm using a bouquet holder, one of the things is to finish off the back with a professional finish. So we're just going to take a look at how I've created that back finish. The first thing that I did, I actually took some of the inexpensive number 40 satin. So here you can see I've just taken it and cut it off. So you see it starts off with kind of more of a polyester plastic feel. And this is what we're going to turn it into. So how you do that is actually kind of crunch it into a ball, and then you'll get it wet and just rinse it out a little bit and just play with that. You can let the water run over it, but then you're just gonna take it and kind of crunch it a little bit more into a ball and then allow that to dry. So you can see the ribbon turns out kind of like an inexpensive silk ribbon comparison to how it started, this more satiny looking polyester ribbon. So what we're going to do is start off with the U-glue strip, and I'm going to cut it in half and then in half again and again, and then I applied one portion down here. To finish this off, we're going to start at the top so that I have a tail to be able to tie that off. I'm going to come down, just tap that in place, come around the bottom, and then start wrapping that up. Once you get it wrapped to the top, then you're going to take that beginning tail and the end tail, go around one more time here, and then we're going to tie those off in a square knot, left over right, together, and right over left. Then I'm just going to use two little pieces of U-glue here and press the one side in. And then press the other side in. So that way it stays nice and secure when she's holding it. The next step in the process is to adhere some salal leaves. And so I just take some of the salal leaves and prepare them. You can use a variety of leaves. Salal's an inexpensive leaf for us here, and it's a good way to be able to finish off the back and have it easily hide that mechanic. So what I'm going to do to kind of get my leaves to be similar size, you can see I stacked them together. Then I'm just going to cut off the bottom to give me a more uniform leaf to be able to apply. Then I'm going to take two of the U-glue strips, one coming on this side here, one coming on this side. I kind of missed my target, but then I'll be able to press on those salal leaves. Then I'm going to take, I like to add a second layer on it. So I'm going to take these little half pieces, and this helps to lay the bigger leaves down flat. So to start the bouquet, then I'm going to soak that into preservative water. Here I'm using the Trio vase, but you could see that you could use a variety of other vases to be able to put your bouquet in to use as a holder. So to start our bouquet, we're going to use the glass vase to put it in and start establishing our shape. And on the crescent, what we're going to do is start coming across in that type of pattern. And because some of these larger pieces that are going to be off to the side, I know that they're going to be a lot more motion. So I'm going to use a little bit of the Oasis floral adhesive on some of the longer pieces that are going to be out in that crescent shape. And some of the other pieces I can just put right into the foam. So there's a few advantages to using a holder. I have ease of placement, and I'm able to get a lot more depth and dimension in my bouquets and use my product efficiently. So you can see that came together really easy. We're going to add a couple plumosa. And then take a hold of it and hold it in my hand and see once if the shape that's being developed is really what I want to show. So next we're going to start developing the focal area, and I'm going to come in with some roses. And one of the easiest ways to be able to determine your height or something, your insertion in there, is to take it and hold it kind of over the top. Then pinch your finger where you need to make that cut, and then that way you'll know that you have a good insertion into the foam. With the foam, you want to just go in one time and have it be in the correct position. So I'm going to hold this where I want it to be, take a look at where my cut needs to be so that it goes into the meat of the foam. So there you can see we've kind of developed a little bit of that crescent line with those roses. I'm going to come in with a focal of the leucadendron, and this one has a little bit smoother stem, so I am going to add a little bit of reinforcement by adding some of that floral adhesive on it. Then I'm going to extend a little bit of the line with some stock, and because this is going to be extended out, I'm also going to add some of the floral adhesive, making that connection up to the top. So we're coming here, here, and then the last one's going to come down the other side, so that you feel that motion coming into that crescent shape. We're going to add 2 of the Charlotte Rossano chrysanthemums that are very dahlia-like, is what I like to call them. And so they add that interest and a dahlia-like presence. So we've got those, a little bit lighter color coming toward the front and the darker color coming on the back side. The dark brown of the agonis kind of comes into that leucadendron. Then we're going to bring in some spray roses next, and these are a lavender spray rose. And I took off a side shoot, and I'm going to take a longer piece. Add that floral adhesive to the stem. Coming in on the top side, bring some up into the middle. So next we're going to add the textural element, and so this is some hypericum. It adds kind of that waxy finish and gives me a little bit of a textural contrast in the bouquet. And then in our workroom, a lot of times I have a mirror that I can go look at. So I'll hold the bouquet and just make sure that it's hitting the shapes that I want. I'm not going to worry about covering up all of the bouquet holder. We'll do that with some finishing on the end. Another just textural influence. We're gonna come in. Dancing over the top here is a couple of the Scabiosa. So, and if I want the bouquet to be a little bit more asymmetrical, how I have different items on different sides. But now to bring some of that salal up into the bouquet, I'm just gonna take a couple pieces now and come in. So I didn't insert those early on so that I had those stems that I could potentially run into. But right now we're gonna be able to add some in. So next we kind of had the foliages out in our exterior, but what we want to do is carry some of that through the center to be able to create some depth, and it'll hide some of our mechanics very easily as well. One of the last things I'm going to add in is some of the Hypnosis carnations, and I'm going to bring those in right down in on the bouquet holder. So it's quite a short insertion. See that I'm just cutting them down in here. And I'm gonna take those and tuck them right down in on the bouquet holder, anywhere that I can still see any portions of the bouquet holder. And then right there you can see it just finishes it off and adds great depth and dimension and just very easily finishes that bouquet off. I'm gonna add just a finishing accent of some of this wax flower. That will accentuate our line. Some of the ones that are going to be longer and have more movement, I am going to add a little bit of that floral adhesive again as well. So now it's getting a little bit more difficult to find pathways to go into too. And so if I'm running into other stems, having that floral adhesive in there is a great way to make sure that you have a good solid insertion. Always when you're doing insertions, it's really good to put your fingers down in and see, you can see I'm reaching in there, but I'm feeding that flower in just a little bit at a time to make sure that I don't bust the stem and that I can feel if I'm running into anything. So it's a good way to be able to know where you're going in and feel that that insertion is in good and solid. So then just one last check. If you've got all your mechanics covered and that you have a good bouquet that flows from one side to the other. This is our crescent style wedding design. You can see that we got a great spread on these flowers, using that bouquet holder to really get control and develop the shape of the design. It really reinforces that crescent shape and you're able to achieve it very easily. So if you like this and are able to use it, give us a thumbs up. Ask us any questions, leave us some comments. Then we know that you're engaged with our videos. On our YouTube channel, we have a variety of videos that are available for you, from business to product previews and a variety of floral education videos. So make sure and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Then you'll hear about any time we upload something. Thanks for watching. I'm Sandy Schreck for LBR Educates, the Wedding Series. I hoped I've inspired you to make some fabulous florals.